your host, Dessie and you're listening to the Golden Hour podcast, a space for us women to live fully, authentically, and feel at home in body, mind, and soul. Hi, I'm Dessie, and this is the Golden Hour podcast. I welcome you today from our home together with Christian, and I'm very honored to have him as my guest, as my conversation partner today, my wonderful fiance. And it's really, really big joy for me to have this chat together today.
Likewise. Thanks for having me. It's very, very nice.
Good weather, right?
Yeah. And some construction work sound in the background.
We decided we're going to do it anyway, regardless of construction. So let's just go, and I hope it's not too annoying. So
it's live.
Yeah. Today's conversation is about a topic that is, I know it's important for many, many people, and I have had countless conversations about this topic with friends, with people around us. And this is home, and we're going to talk today about our home and our process towards finding the right home for us right now, right? We've had a few people asking about an episode like this on the podcast. So this is for you if you've been interested in the process of how we found our dream home. Before we start, you wanted to share something as a disclaimer, or
the disclaimer.
The disclaimer.
Yeah. So
I know it's important for you.
Yeah, it's important because there is a lot of advice out there how things should be done and how we should live our lives, and only you know how to live your life, and only we know how to live ours as individuals and as a couple. And so everything that we say today, like, this is unscripted, so we talked about a little bit about the topics that we want to cover, but at the same time it's not a we did it like this, so you should do it like that. It's not this kind of vibe. Take it as inspiration of to take into your individual, like into your process. Like, take what resonates and leave what doesn't. And we just felt like we want to share what we've experienced and what worked for us, what didn't work for us.
Exactly.
With the intention that there's something there for you as well.
And there's always, exactly what you say, I believe that the right message always reaches the right people. So this is why we're doing this, and this is why I do everything with the Golden Hour podcast and with what I'm sharing online, with the trust always and the knowing that it reaches the person that it needs to reach in the right time. So with that being said, let's dive right in. I've got some notes, and so I'm going to lead this. And let me start with the background story. Me and Christian, we left Vienna about 1.5 years ago now, after both having lived here for over 15 years. There was something that maybe there was a sort of constriction or something that we both felt that made us take this leap and basically pack our lives into 2 suitcases and leave. And I have to say that now, as I was reflecting back on this process, I realized we never went traveling, right? We never went traveling. We were not changing places. We much rather followed the breadcrumbs, so to say, or followed our intuition, followed what felt right, and ended up in Ibiza to be honest, very much by chance for a month. This was the beginning of our journey and by invitation. So we ended up there. And first we thought, okay, we're going to stay there for a month. And quickly after being there in the moment felt so right that we just decided to live as if we live there and to simply enjoy life and be in the moment and not future pace whatever is going to happen in the future. Actually, I remember it was so funny. We rented a car from the very beginning, so we were moving around by car. It's almost impossible to move around the island any other way. And so we're driving with the car and we kept looking at houses, like seeing houses, and we're like, hey, maybe this is our future home, maybe this is our future house, because we were really excited. We really loved it there. We really loved the connection to nature. We loved, it was winter, so the connection to nature was felt really, really strongly, also because there were not many people around. What was your experience of this time, if you think back?
The first that comes up, it was extremely intense. I remember I had this surgery.
Yeah, it was very crazy.
I had this surgery,
you had the surgery 1 week before we left.
Like 1 week before we left, and also like before the surgery, I was supporting
a knee surgery. It's not even like a brain surgery.
Yeah. No brain. No, nothing really. I mean, serious, but not like
surgery.
It was a surgery still, like with like. And then like being in Portugal the week before, because I assisted my friend Steven on his breathwork retreat. Then like literally flying in the day before the surgery, like it was just like very, very, very intense. Then the surgery, then we went, then this like running, like being late for the plane, like almost having to run, but like with this swollen knee and still it was very chaotic and very intense. And when we arrived in Ibiza, I remember just this very strong need to decompress. Like this was how it was for me, decompression, and then also somehow being in this weird place of, okay, because our friend invited us. I'm very, very grateful still. So cool, so generous. He invited us and he said, yeah, stay at my house. And I'm like, wow. And when we stayed, but then it was not like, you're taking an Airbnb for a month and then you know what's next, or then you look what's next. It was very weird.
Yeah, very interesting space.
Very weird.
In between. Yeah.
It was this in between space.
But I remember that we were also very clear 10 days in that we want to stay there longer. It's anyway that we're going to find a way to stay there longer. And something that I want to emphasize when we think back about this story is we started from the very beginning, as we started this process of, changing locations and we took the sleep. What we did, in fact, was create a micro experience of a part of our future together that we want to eventually experience together as we build our home. Does this make sense?
Yeah, I feel like we didn't, like my impression was we created it, and then after we reflected on it, we realized, well, this was actually how we wanted to live. So we've been before, in the months, like 1.5 years, 2 years ago, we talked, we want, to be more close. Like, I remember you said, I want to live on an island one day. And then I said, I want to be, going to the market. I want to be in a village again, something like this. I grew up in a very, 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 very remote village, and I didn't really necessarily love village life, but there was something that pulled me personally more towards this more like small scale living. connected
Yes.
but small scale. And then we lived there and experienced a lot of that. And I felt that was a very, very important, at least for me, it was very important, this insight to then create or co-create the next steps a little more mindfully.
Yes.
Does it make sense?
Yes. And I remember us from the very beginning talking to each other and in a way dissecting the experience, because this was also a process in which we were getting to know each other. And I'm not saying this because we knew each other for, let's say, 1.5 or 2 years at the time. It was not because of that. I believe you can get to know your partner even if you've been with them 2 years or 20 years or 50. I remember we kept talking and dissecting, so to say, the experiences to learn what is important for you, what is important for me, and how can this work together in the future. How can this look like? How can this feel like? And we started already then, in a way, making the experience of our future home together more tangible. Because we were clear that we want to eventually keep living life together. We were very certain. we still are.
We were or we are?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that?
With that we started to create this more consciously? Yeah. I think it was more this, I can only speak for myself. I think it's good not to speak for you because I don't know how it was for you, but for me it was very, very, this move of leaving Austria was it was long overdue, but it was very scary for me. It was extremely scary. I think it was one of the most scariest things I've ever done. And with all that, like the whole package was very scary. And then seeing that, taking the leap and also allowing, let's put it like this. In the past I would use to describe what I want very in detail, and then somehow I didn't fully trust that this can be the case. Somehow it was like, who are you to experience this, or who are you to get this? And I mean, you know this. This is something that I'm working through, and I was working through.
Yes.
And then we went to Ibiza, and all of a sudden I realized, oh wow, it's so easy.
Yeah.
It can be so easy.
Yeah.
Like, and then it comes with challenges also, a lot of them, but also it can be very, very easy. And this is when I started to take what I write down in my wish list much more serious, because I realized it's very, very powerful what you write down there.
That's beautiful. Yeah, I've never known this about you.
Yeah.
That this was a process that you went through during this time.
Yeah. Since then I always, like, when I write something down, I'm like, okay, like if you write this down, this can become a reality. Like, it's really like that. It's really like that. And still sometimes I'm wondering, sometimes some things I write down and then they don't happen, but it's very normal.
But you now know the power of your intention and writing things down on paper.
It's very powerful.
That's very
very powerful. Very, very powerful. The magic for me is in describing it. And that's daily practice, because sometimes you really want something because you're in a place of suffering or struggle, and then you want it to change quickly. Usually when you push more, you don't get it. But then just allowing, like writing it down, allowing it to be, and then it's kind of like sending it out and then waiting for the seed to, for the seed to sprout somewhere,
and detaching
from the result. Yeah.
This is another point that I have written down.
Oh, yeah?
Detaching from the result. And I've noticed that many people especially when they're consciously in the process of manifesting something or they really wish for something to happen, they would attach to the result and they would live in this state of if this, then that. If I get it, then I'm gonna be happy. If it happens, then I'm gonna finally feel worthy, complete. I would feel good. I would be able to do something else, start a family, I don't know what. And we were very, very conscious with this. I remember as we were changing places, as we were living out of our suitcases, that even though we were very conscious that we already wish for a permanent home together, we made sure to feel always full of gratitude for the moment that we are in right now. And to be very, very present in the place that we are in right now. We also always lived in a way as if we lived
Like
there,
living
right?
there, yeah.
Like connecting to
Yeah.
the locals, finding friends, buying local, supporting the creators around. How did you experience
Yeah,
that?
there is a saying that I follow for, it's guiding me for a long time already. I think it's attributed to Mahatma Gandhi. I'm not sure if he was the first one who said it, but I think it's most commonly attributed to him. They said to be, so the quote is, be the change you want to see in the world. And somehow it really touched me deeply. Heard this many years ago, when actually you can, if you want to be a tourist, then you can be a tourist. Absolutely no problem. But if you want to feel home, you can feel home or feel and act home after the first day. That only works if you're disconnected from time. Because if you say, oh, I'm only a resident if I live here for 3 whatever years, it's a problem. Obviously, there is something to it if you really connect with the locals who are living there for like 20, 30, whatever, 50 years. It's different, but you can still feel belonging and connection, I feel. And we both always, and I'm very grateful for you because you reminded me of that a lot, to not forget that, like, how often you pushed when I was like working long hours and you pushed for, like, let's go drive for the sunset.
That's very important for me.
And often I was so annoyed, and at the same time I knew that it's nice, because the truth is, there was a little bit, maybe there was a bit of FOMO involved, but not so much. Or I think it was more like this genuine appreciation for this life, and that is a good practice to have. To have genuine appreciation for life. Because we also had genuine appreciation for life when we lived in a much smaller place.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
I remember every day going out into the yard and just getting the speck of sunlight.
Yeah, this summer we were
It doesn't
in
matter.
a one-room
Now we have a
place
bigger
with-
place. Great. But it means nothing. Like, it doesn't mean that you can be... I want to come back to this if this, then that. That's the biggest trap of all. If this, then that is the recipe for unhappiness.
Yes.
Constant,
100%.
continuous unhappiness.
100%. I catch myself sometimes in doing it in a little ways where I would imagine the future and living in this perfect place and this perfect apartment, and then I would be like, I can imagine all the amazing work I'm gonna do there and all the content I can create and videos I'm gonna record. It's gonna be beautiful. And it's a scam because you're not going to, like, you need the inner drive and the inner motivation to do the things that you want to do now, and there's only one moment to really do things, and that's now. So if you are in such a trap, you better start doing what you want to be doing in the future now, and living in the way that you want to live now, in little ways, in tiny ways.
This reminds me of my friend Christian, who, it was in Corona times when everyone was locked at home, him as well, and he built himself a sauna in the toilet. Because he would like buy like I don't know 5 like these mobile heaters, and he would cover the window, and some red light heater he also added, and he was like if there is a
Very
will,
funny.
there is a way.
Yeah. There is a way for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Let me see what else I got on my notes list. I wrote down that the home that we are in right now, for example, and this is truly, by the way, like we're feeling so blessed to be living in a home now that really represents our values, and it is really a place that we kept envisioning with all its aspects and what it means for us personally, for both of us and for us as a couple. And it's very different from what it would mean for another person, or what it even be for us in another point in time, maybe in the future. But right now we really feel so blessed. And at the same time, this also is very important for me, and as we discussed, also for us to see this as the right next step. So it is for us the right step right now, and the right next step can look differently in the future.
Yeah.
How do you see that?
I mean, it comes back to what you said before, being just here now. And there is excitement, and it's great. Like I feel like I struggled for most of my lifetime to really celebrate successes that I experienced, something great that happened. Like I struggled. But when something bad happens, it's very easy to acknowledge. But when something really good happens, it's very hard to acknowledge. It's almost like you don't deserve it.
I
It's
remember you
crazy.
telling me that you didn't celebrate your university graduation, and I was like, what? How can you do that? And so now we're actually considering you signing up for the graduation so you can
10 years
celebrate
later.
10 years later, which for me, it's amazing. I love celebrating. So
Yeah. So it's, I think this element of acknowledging the good and acknowledging the bad, to have this in balance. And like also knowing that like what you envision, it can really become a reality. And I know this can be super triggering. This is sometimes even for me triggering when I think of some things that I envision and that I'm not experiencing right now. And I go, yeah, okay, sure. Like, but when I look back at my life, and we've talked about this many times, that we have this, like it's good to make this review of, even though you might have, like even though we struggled through whatever things we experience in our life, there is a common like there is a thread that connects the breadcrumbs, that leads to the. Does it ever lead to the bread? I don't know.
I think it leads to the bread.
Oh yeah. Okay, that's very interesting. I've never thought about this. It's going to lead to the bread or not. But there is a thread. And it's really, oftentimes, you envision it and then it turns out differently. Sometimes worse, but sometimes also better. And to just be open that it can work. Like, for example, for me, and when I was 15 or something, I loved playing football. And I envisioned to, at one point in time, work for one of these big sports companies. At the age of 20, what was it, 23, I got hired straight from university without this bachelor degree that I then finished a few years later and worked there. So I think coming back to this like whole concept of home, it is, I think, and I'm really curious how you see this now. It's really about getting to know yourself and getting to know in the best way possible, because it's never ending, but to get to know yourself and understand what kind of technique or what kind of style works for you, so that you can, and for the sake of a better expression, co-create with the universe or co-create with life force or life.
I love that you are saying that. It's very, very important, and something that I wanted to mention for sure, that through this process of getting to know ourselves separately, we have come to know that for me, what works best is feeling and getting into the feeling through meditation, through visualizations of what I want to create. And I really to feel that, to feel it in my body, to embody it. And for you, what works, you're very structured, you have very strong mind, very active mind. And for you, it's very important to write everything down, so you have to make lists of everything.
Yeah, I have to make it tangible. And writing it down is a way how I can make it tangible. Or I do some physical I just recently did a constellation exercise, which was amazing. Just making it tangible, as good as I can. I think I have never thought about this, but I think AI can be used perfectly for this. If you a person like me, where it has to be very specific and very clear, you can just envision that and just tell it to the AI to create it, and it can be fun. I never tried it.
Yes, that's possible.
But yeah.
And you're the AI user in our family. Let's say that I'm not so much into it.
Yeah.
I think this was a key to success, realizing this. This.
Why?
On the one hand, the differences, and on the other, working together as a couple. So I think oftentimes, and even when you're in a relationship and you're working on something so entangled within the relationship as the common home, because it's something very, very common. And so if I would be, as a single person, manifesting my favorite home, but I want my home with you, and you have a completely different idea, then that would be very much misaligned in the flow of energy.
Yeah. I mean, in that regard, we are also compatible. Because it can be that you're in love, but you're not compatible if one wants to live in a skyscraper and the other one, and this is because of many reasons, the person wants to live there, and the other one wants to live in a hut in the forest disconnected from electricity.
It's true, yeah.
Then you don't have compatibility. But as soon as that's there, then
I
agree.
I have to say that even we don't necessarily have the exact same wishes for everything, but we have certain wishes that we brought together into one piece, so to say. Because I remember, for example, you we're talking about also your human design and how ideally you would be living in a cave, or something resembling a cave where you're protected, but also looking out into over nature and the city and so on. And for me, I really need to see things from a bird's eye and be on top of the world, so to say. And in the end, I feel like our home represents both those things.
Yeah, I feel this is not. The more I believe, the more we treat like life as a it's a blank canvas, and we brush it with our thoughts and our actions and whatever. Like, we can brush it. It's blank. Everything is possible. And the more we do, the more you dare to do it, the more you allow. The more colorful you allow the picture to become.
That's beautiful.
I think it's that. And it's not better or worse than something else. But if you want to have a rich, colorful life, then one part of it is overcoming the resistance towards dreaming big. and allowing your ideas to somehow, even if you have not any plan how it's gonna happen, to happen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. And at the same time, to let go of the final result.
Mm.
And I think letting go and trust are very interconnected, and they have so much in common because they both go together. If you trust, then you let go of the result because you already know
Yeah.
it is in
Yeah.
your sphere and it is arriving in your life.
Can I ask you something?
Yes.
What helps you to trust?
It's not, I don't need help to trust. It is more connecting to this inner place inside of me that knows.
Mm.
So it's connecting to inner knowing. And my inner knowing is in my womb.
How to connect to the womb?
So through embodiment practices, through
Yeah.
yin yoga, through moving your body, through feeling your body, I connect to that knowing. And then it feels like knowing. You recognize it when you experience it.
Mm.
So for that, I recommend any kind of embodiment practice that one enjoys. It brought a lot into my life, connecting with the feminine, connecting with my body through practices such as yin yoga, traditional Chinese medicine. It's played a huge role in my life. And this is something that definitely helped me access that place. So I think that answers the question.
Maybe I should do yin yoga tonight. I don't have a womb in the feminine sense, but I think it can work for.
Yeah, I think you should do yin yoga if you feel like doing it.
Yeah.
And actually, in that, yes, you don't have a womb in that sense, but actually, everyone has access to that space within themselves.
Yeah.
Because it's an energetic space more than anything else. And this is why, regardless of gender, you have access to that inner knowing by dropping into the body, by connecting to your inner knowing. We are getting towards the end of this conversation, aren't we?
Yeah. I think we could talk about this for ages.
We could talk about this forever.
Yeah.
One thing I want to... Let's sum it up, actually. Let's sum it up. So there are a few things. What did we talk about? Definitely creating mini versions of the experience of our dream was key for us. We did that through our time in Ibiza. We did that through our time in Bulgaria and Varna as well, which came after. Experiencing how it feels like to live near the forest, how it feels like to live on the seashore, how it feels like to live in community and to go to the market every day, and eventually bringing together all the experiences that we truly value into the vision, and then letting the universe do the rest. And there's something else that we wrote down is watch your words and beliefs.
Yeah.
Do you want to say something about that shortly?
Yeah. The words is the word is the first manifestation, because it's a translation from the thing that is before the thought, then it becomes a thought, and then it becomes a word. And then it gets translated through the hands, maybe in writing or in some act. So that's why I think it's very powerful to mind the words, because they shape how we experience life.
That's beautiful. And something as we talked about was aligning on things as a couple, right? Because we as people all work a little bit in a different way.
Mm.
And so talking over and over again about what is important to me, what is important to you.
I think the best is like the very practical advice, or maybe it's advice. Very practical way how to do this is like to carve out 2 hours without the phone and to go on a walk, go on a date, whatever, or make some me time, and then explore this playfully and talk
In a way that's non-judgmental,
non-judgmental, and just
expectations.
being like, hey, like how does that work for you? Like making space for the dreaming in the I love that you say that non-judgmental. I think it's that can be a great
and
kickoff.
being open to the other person, right, and to get to know them.
Yeah.
Get to know them right now, because one person is different yesterday and today.
And what you assume, we had this so many times. Just like 2 days ago, when we had this. Or was it yesterday? No, 2 days ago. I don't remember when we had this fight, but like it's a huge fight, and I just realized that the struggle was because I assumed that you think like I think.
Yes.
And oftentimes when we fight, the struggle is because also sometimes you assume that I think like you think.
Yes.
And
that's very true.
That's
That's
fundamentally like that's wrong.
The core of all our
The
problems.
core of all our problems, and it doesn't, and probably all the future problems. So yeah, I think that's a good practice.
That's beautiful. And my last point is let go and see what the universe has in store. So
what do you like most about this last point?
I like that because, again, coming back to if this then that, I think this is one of the biggest things that keeps people back from living their dream life. Actually waiting for something to arrive in order to know. We embody what we want now. And I think this was really the key for our journey and arriving at our dream home now, because we never lived throughout our time changing places. We never felt in this dissatisfaction, so to say. We lived in gratitude.
Most of the time, yeah.
Most of the time.
Most of the time. I find it's very important to, because I know how you mean it fully, like 100%.
Yeah.
And at the same time,
not idealizing, yeah.
Not idealizing, not like,
yeah.
but like, yeah, it was most of the time we managed to switch. Yeah.
I think it's very subtle many times, because, for example, you spend time with family, and then, of course, there are moments where you're annoyed, and the family is just too much in the moment. And then, if you manage to switch, you're in gratitude. You're in gratitude to actually have a family in this moment, and to be surrounded by people that love you, even though they annoyed you.
Yeah.
And this, I just am getting goosebumps right now, because this is actually something very, very important in my life that I try to live by every day. Yeah.
And tonight we're on the way, so
tonight
we're gonna see them soon.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, I love
So such
this
a nice conversation.
It's really cool.
And I feel like the more we do it, the more we get in the flow.
Yes.
It's nice.
Yes, because that's what we want. To be, I mean, this is what we, yeah. I'm gonna wrap this up now. Do you have anything else that comes now and that you want to say?
No. I thank you for the invitation to contribute with whatever was on my mind to share.
I'm so glad.
And yeah, I hope there's this a wish, or my wish is that this is useful to someone.
My wish is that
and I
it's
cannot
useful
prove.
to someone
I don't.
too.
I don't know this. I cannot. If it's not useful, okay, what can I do? But then it was useful for us.
It was useful for us even to
reflect,
reflect
together,
we
and
really
then
had a very nice conversation about this. And some very nice synchronicities. You remember the trend, right? Where we knew that we have to record this together because, yeah, it's a topic that just we
Yeah,
both
yeah, yeah.
really co-created. Something we co-created in a very beautiful way, and I'm very grateful. So,
Thank you.
wrapping this up now, thank you for tuning in to this conversation today, to the Golden Hour podcast, and really hoping that, no, I know that it will reach the person it's meant to reach in the right way. And let me know if you have any questions about this, if there's something else you want to know, or anything, feedback, write me a message, subscribe to the Golden Hour podcast. And that's it for today. Thanks for tuning in, and see you next time.